In one of my previous Warframe videos, I got asked in the comments, hey, could you explain to me the entirety of the Warframe main story quests? Don't worry, I got you. I've played through all the main quests, I know the main quests, I know the lore. I will explain what goes on for you in a nice, concise summary, so don't worry about it. You'll understand the game's story, and maybe if you want to replay the quests, you'll have a better appreciation for them. So, let's start off with the awakening, and just like the name entails, you basically wake up after a really long nap, but then you need to escape capture from really off-brand Star Wars clones. This leads us directly to the next quest, For's Prize. While you were able to escape, unfortunately, you had a tracker/Bluetooth controller placed onto you, so you need to find materials and allies to help you get rid of it. Then you can go ahead and try and kill the guy who placed it onto you. Unfortunately, he is able to escape just before you blow his head schmoove off. Here we have the teacher. This is the introduction of Tension Impact. He lures you out with a doohickey and then kidnaps you. Now, you see, he does this since the Lotus tried bringing back the Tenno a few times. Well, using fakes, because she is the sentient queen of mimics, but now she does it for real actually this time. And now Teshin wants to actually see if you are real. He then sees that you are, and becomes your teacher. After that whole ordeal, you can go to Venus and access the quest Vox Solaris. In this quest, you assist the proletariat in rising up against the bourgeoisie, since the depth they are in is way past costing an arm and a leg. Also, some Nepo baby almost blows up an entire planet since he doesn't know how machinery works, so you gotta help the workers fix the problem. After that, we have Once Awake, where there has been a zombie virus outbreak from the Grenier labs, but this time the zombies can infect not only biological material, but also mechanical material. And in order to stop this, you use a really big bomb. The Heart of Deimos is next, and on one of Mars's moons, there is the battery for literally everything, but there's a small problem with it. It has been damaged and you need to fix it. And you also need to deal with a stronger strain of infested, as well as a really dysfunctional family. Also, fun fact, the entire moon is the infestation. Next up, we have the archwing. You basically find pieces of a space jetpack and you build it. After that, you have Natah, where you find out that the Lotus is a sentient, and you summon her dad from the depths of Uranus, and then her dad wants to kill you for some reason. Yeah, like some small grudge that he has. The old war sentience versus humanity, Organ, Warframe's Tenno. Immediately after that, you get placed into the second dream, where Lotus's dad tries to kill you by hiring Gabriel Ultrakill and giving him a really cool sword. But in order to kill you, they need to go to the moon, since that is where, spoiler alert, you are hiding. Yes, you are a mecha pilot, not the Warframe. The Tenno are revealed to be void-powered children that were placed into cryosleep for a small amount of time. Also, the moon was gone for a short while, and then you bring it back. Yay! We then have access to the War Within, where you stalk Teshin until it is revealed that he works for the Grenier Queens. Then the Grenier Queens try to take your skin. However, Teshin manages to put you in your mind palace since he actually isn't working with the Grenier Queens. He is just forced to work for them because they have Kuva and the Dax are like engineered to obey people with Kuva, and then you unlock powers that you haven't been able to use, and you kill the queens. You also no longer need the chair to pilot your mechs. Really cool. Alright, here we get into the good stuff. Rising Tide. You start a pirate crew first by finding a new, not artificial intelligence, Cephalon, called Psi, C-Y, not S-I-G-H, as well as parts of a pirate spaceship. But since no one else can be the Railjack Cephalon, Psi does it, even though he doesn't really want to. Alright, next up, we got the Chains of Harrow. Now, you see, another Tenno has been attacking some of your allies' ships. So you investigate and find out it was Rel, the Tenno that was cast out for blinding Margulis. And who's Margulis, you say? Margulis is basically the original Lotus before Natah. Anyway, since Rel was cast out, he didn't go into cryosleep. He instead went into his Warframe and did his darndest to stop the Man in the Wall, which is the being that gives the Tenno their powers. But he's also low-key evil. Since Rel is doing all this, it is understandable that he is having a breakdown. Anyway, to free Rel from his suffering, You must first free his Warframe, Harrow, from its chains. And oh my gosh, this writing is fire. Oh my god, it's this guy. Anyway, in the Apostasy prologue, some lanky-ass blue man hypnotizes the lotus and takes her away. And then immediately after that, you get the sacrifice, where you find an Excalibur variant named Umbra, and you learned how Warframes were actually made. They start off as people, are infected with a special strain of the infestation, and are left to transform. Umbra is still sentient, so that makes him a little bit special, and in order to help calm him down, you enter his traumatic memories and show basic empathy to him. And then the two of you go kill Ballas together. Yeah, the lanky-ass blue man. In the prelude to the new war, Ballas pretends to be under the control of the Lotus and provides the paracesis to the Tenno, a sword designed to be the perfect weapon against the sentients. You then go and investigate some sentient thing and have a flashback to the old war. After that, the Lotus is told that her mother is dead, and the person telling her this is her brother. Anyway, the new war. You try and fight Ballas and his sentient army while trying to save the Lotus. You do this simultaneously, and guess what? You fail. And some new guy drifts into the plot and slowly goes against Ballas's new army. But the Drifter is still just a guy. So, the Drifter needs to get help from Stalker and Lotus's dad. They get a pretty decent bow and get sent to kill some Archons. The Archon shards are used to heal the Lotus, but when she is healed just a bit, like she just needs one more, she tries to attack the Drifter since she doesn't know who they are. And just before the Drifter is killed, they swap places with the Operator. Alright, time to explain the Drifter and Operator. These two are two possibilities of the same person, since when they made a deal with the Man in the Wall, they only limited the possibilities of their lives to two things. One being stuck in the zariman, and one escaping the zariman. You see, I have a theory that something else caused this experiment, but that's a video I'll make later. Anyway, after choosing who will go save the Lotus and kill Ballas, you eventually do that, but there's a slight problem. The sun is still being consumed, and anyway, the Man in the Wall comes to save the day, so it's all good. Yeah, nothing else bad will happen because of that. And now we can get into the duviri paradox. We see the home place of the Drifter for many years. A whole dimension that they made, modeled after a storybook. They've also been here for so long that they forgot who they were and how to feel emotions. Ironic, since the book is a dimension all about emotions and such. But luckily, Teshin is there, and he's there to teach them. But unluckily, he dies at the end. Spoiler. But you remember, the Drifter made this place, so technically they're still in charge of this dimension. So you just start the loop again and revive Teshin. Angels of the Zariman is next, and you go back there to the Zariman, since there are people on it that survived somehow, but the Corpus and the Grineer also show up because they want to salvage it, so you gotta stop them as well as save the people, in quotation marks, on board. Jade Shadows is next, chronologically, maybe, no clue. So Stalker found out that his wife was still alive with their baby. He tries to save her himself, but he can't do it by himself, so he needs to go and get some help from the Tenno. They were unable to save Jade. However, Jade's baby is still able to survive, and guess what? The Corpus was stalking Stalker, so they showed up, tried to kill Stalker, but you see, Stalker had baby, so the Corpus actually showed empathy, and the person who showed empathy probably lost their job in the Corpus. Alright. Whispers in the walls. This is the consequences of Old Man Yahweh. Robot Lloyd tells you to find Human Lloyd in order to fix Albert Einstein's secret underground lab. And to fix this lab, you need to find a book and its final page. Well, not the final page, just like the final page that wasn't in the book. Yeah, and there are also some animals that don't really speak English, so you help them to speak. This eventually summons the Man in the Wall, which you defeat by showing basic empathy yet again. And then after that, you get the Lotus Eaters. You see, the Lotus doesn't give a gaff about the Drifter and sends them into 1999 to stop the Man in the Wall. Now, we get to one of the best quests in the game, the Hex. So you see, after many loops in 1999, the Drifter tries yet again to prevent the world from going to nuclear war. This is to prevent the future of the Orokin and the Infested from occurring. But this time, it is different. since Major Rosalka has been possessed by the man in the wall. Oh, yeah, Albrecht is also there. He flexes his fit and the fact that he's gay. Yeah, then you try to find him, but you get jump scared by the man in the major. And then, yeah, Wally forgets how to drive a motorcycle and crashes. You then succeed in finding Albrecht. He tells you to kill Rosalka, but before you can, John Wall teleports you away to the Zariman, where you get front row seats to each and every Hex member's deaths. Especially Amir, since Albrecht also teleports you to him just to shoot him with an unmodded, no incarnate Lex Prime. He then shoots you for fun and forces you to use your duviri powers to make a new time loop. Instead of just one day, it's one whole year. And then you can play a non-visual visual novel, as well as do some missions with the Hex, do some bounties, and then you can finally save them by helping them not be dog water. So now we have the old piece, where the operator is placed in a memory machine to help them remember the person they were on town, specifically on a moon called Perida, which is where both Sentients, Tenno, and Orokin acted peacefully with one another. But there was a small problem. The Orokin were racist, so this led to attacks from one Orokin house to another, specifically the one that didn't want peace against the one that wanted peace with the Sentients. So yeah, the Tenno had to stop them and their whole plan to terraform Perida. Why are they trying to terraform Perida, and why do they want to stop this plan? Well, you see, the moon has a toxic atmosphere, which is able to support the life, the first alien species in Warframe, the xenoflora, a special kind of flower the Sentients eat to not be part of a hive mind. Yeah, but you see, plot twist, when trying to stop this whole thing, you get codes to destroy the terraformer, but you see, it is codes to activate it, and this really makes your sentient friend mad. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, you have a little sentient buddy. He's called Atis. Yeah, you battle against him, then he dies. Yeah, then you get mad and kill literally everyone while equipping the absolute best frame in the game. And then you find out the Lotus had betrayed you and wiped your memories for 1,000 years in the time chamber. And she does this to protect you from facing the crimes of treason. Spoiler, it didn't work and she died. Now we are finally all caught up to the latest quest in the game. Jade Shadows 2, Constellations, Electric Boogaloo. So you see, Stalker finds out his only son turned into two due to eternalistic mitosis shenanigans. And guess what? They can both time travel now. So the two of them decided to remove third Fortuna Orb, which was a very bad thing to do. So Stalker had to discipline both of them. And yeah, he then finds out that Orion is in a relationship with a bloodthirsty murderer woman, and Sirius is with a homeless ninja man. I don't know which one is worse. Since Sirius and Orion have some sort of, like, drama between them, they would also have beef with the original or younger version that Stalker is taking care of. Now you see, 2 nuclear bombs versus a coughing baby seems like a pretty rough matchup. So Stalker needs some sort of help, in the form of Umbra. Yay, he got story significance. Anyway, Hunhao comes up with a plan to save the day, but first you need to get a sentient doohickey from space. So Stalker does that and runs into a false Jade. Yeah, man in the wall, this is like one of the worst things you've ever done. I'm not gonna forgive you. Anyways, Stalker got the doodad and arrives in Hunhao's cave, just in time to stop Sirius and Orion from teaming up against Umbra and Baby. Stalker gives Hunhao the doohickey, and Hunhao makes a deal with John Wall to erase his memories and create a peaceful environment for Stalker's family, and to put Umbra there too, I guess. Finally, single dad Stalker can cook for his 4 children now. Yup, that's all this lore. Hopefully I can get this out before TennoCon. Like and subscribe, I guess, for more content eventually.